Dr. Shivagami Gugan, how do you improve resiliency of systems in a complex distributed environment?
Okay. So thank you for this question. In fact, when you talk about resiliency, it's a very loaded word, right? Because resiliency is about how we design, how we build, and how we operate systems. Yeah. So it's holistic. It's about processes, people, technology. It's about actually anticipating failures, building emergency responses and guardrails, and also building what we call a quick heal or self healing into these ecosystems, right? Because failures will always happen. But how do you quickly recover from these failures and how to take the learnings from the failures so that we improve it in a continuous manner? So, this is primarily what we look at building resiliency and building dictated framework. It's also about, I've also seen a few organizations where they just put in a lot of money in the sense they know that the peak, most of the, I've seen an organization where most of their CPUs was running maximum at only 40%, but nobody was planning to downsize or, because there is this fear that I have all the money. I don't need to have a frugal mindset. Let me just go big, right? But that is not resiliency. We need to build cost effectiveness throughout the life cycle, right? From conceptualization through all the operational phases. Oversizing is not an answer. But I do think that from a business point of view, what are we trying to achieve, right? One of the fundamental shifts that we are seeing of late is actually to whoever is your customer, B2B, B2C, whoever is your customer, trying to understand the customer more and trying to give services that are not equal for everyone. So what we call it as hyper personalization. It could be government dealing with citizens, or it could be a retailer, it could be hospitality business. It's about understanding the customer and really hyper personalizing it. So when you're talking hyper personalized services, your resiliency is going to really change because we are talking about bringing in data in motion, which is I have come there to that website to buy this ticket, right? Wanted to fly to Mauritius, and I've come to this website for the fourth time, looking for the ticket from Dubai to Mauritius, and I'm not purchasing the ticket. It means that the system needs to be able to understand the intent of of the customer and should have the ability to actually give an offer right there on the face. Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay. I was talking about how organizations need to identify their customers, whoever be their customer, and they have to hyper personalize the services. And that will enable them to take a bigger share of the wallet. Yeah. So because people are almost narcissists now, and with Gen Z coming in, they have enormous choices. People are becoming frugal. The business model itself is changing. So that's one of the key aspects that they have to take when they are building resiliency, because you have to bring in what we call data in motion with data at rest and give them an offer. So that I'm talking about when I come to Mauritius and I get an offer for say $100 on my face, it means that there are a lot of things that are working. So your resiliency is about really structuring in a manner that gives you customer sense. And the second point that I want to make is please do not think that you will have to do everything yourself, in the sense the organization, that particular IT or technology transformation should also look out for the wider ecosystem, which means there may be some services that are already available and consuming the services. Because previously, okay, you're talking about banks, right? The banks are they're very strict and very regulated. They did not consume any service from anybody else and they try to do everything themselves. But that is not a scalable option. And they'll be falling behind in terms of the the agility and the pace they need to have to capture the market, right? So the second important business mindset that needs to change is leverage the ecosystem. Build build security by design, but do not hesitate to consume what people are offering you. And similarly, the third point is look at a different business model. So possibly over 20 years or 30 years of your business, you have accumulated a lot of wealth in terms of data, in terms of insights. Is there a way that you can make the world a better place by giving your insights to the open source community? Or even monetize it, doesn't matter. But look at different ways of of your business. Open your eyes to different ways of making your business, right? So that's the one. And the fourth one, obviously, is your risk averse nature. Obviously, of the customer needs to change. They need to really become much more open minded and improve operational efficiencies, right? So, coming back to the technology side, because if these are the goals, like I mentioned, the four goals, like the customer goal, the operational efficiency goal, the ecosystem goal. And when I say ecosystem goal in technology, it means that I need to build a API gateway. I need to actually consume from so many different people. Every goal has a technology definition underneath, right? That's the business goal, but has got technical. So technology definition, like I rightly mentioned, improving resiliency means becoming much better in the way you test how you deploy. Talk about canary deployments. Can 10% of my people get the new features? And only when they're successful, I roll it out to the rest of them. Not do A/B deployments. By the way, I think it's a very lazy way. People say, oh, we do blue green. Blue green again means that you need to have, if you are having a cluster of 50 nodes, you need to have a cluster of 50 nodes if it is A/B. But if you do smart things like rolling upgrade, it means you keep adding one node to 50. So you go from 50 to 51 and I keep rolling out changes per node, not A/B or blue green. So there are smart ways of doing resiliency. There are this whole concept of chaos engineering. So the chaos engineering is actually doing testing in a prod or a pre-prod environment by looking at introducing uh, what you think or what you think are the anomalies that can hit your ecosystem. And this could be like your CPUs suddenly going to getting maximized, or it could be your network losing packages. It could be it could be a lot of things. You pulling out a plug and then seeing if you're having resilient disaster recovery happening. It could be checking if your Kubernetes cluster is actually working by spinning multiple nodes the way it needs to spin. So there are different ways that you can actually inject failures into your ecosystem and checking out if chaos engineering works, right? So typically what we do is we do game days, we bring in ethical hackers to check if there are any vulnerabilities in our ecosystem. We try to see, again, not do things that you will never recover, right? But so you need to keep defining guardrails in the blast radius, but try to do things in a controlled manner, but in a production or a pre-production like an environment. And we've seen a lot of advantages coming out of chaos engineering. That's one of the key pillars of building resiliency. So yeah, so I think we're in a well-architected framework for resiliency. There are a few core principles, right? So one is build security by design, think small, build granular, leverage your ecosystem, build resiliency, like principles like chaos engineering, do not wait for failures to happen, rather make sure that we discover the failures even before they're happening. So this is resilience.